Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Ryan's URBEX Adventures. You're here with me today at CAIRNDHU House in Larne. It was once owned by Sir Thomas and Lady Dixon, and it was then used as a private hospital. You're going to be coming with me today as we take a little look around this place. Reputed to be one of Northern Ireland's most haunted locations. Let's go take a look. Okay guys, so we're just going to make our way through the front door. As you can see, there's nothing to stop any sort of entry, so the place is going to be heavily damaged due to vandalism and just by weather itself. As you can see, everything is pretty much rotten and deteriorating over time. I don't really know just how long this house has been inactive for. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but I'll try and look it up and put it in the description. You can see some of the nice architectural design that's still in place. All these massive wooden beams and old style doors with looking like I don't know if they're metallic. Yeah, they're metallic. Sort of like a scroll appearance to them. It's very nice. There we go. So the house itself was once owned by Sir Thomas and Lady Dixon, who also have a park named after them back up in Belfast. There's another grand house that sits in the middle of those grounds as well. That's going to be another future exploration. This is their actual house. The other house seemed to think it was gifted to the people of Belfast, as a fella who was up here not long ago told me that this house was also gifted to the people, but it was turned into a hospital, and I don't really know what is happening with it now. Supposedly there is an owner, or it is on the market and someone has bought it, or I don't really know, but it is going to take some amount of money to get this place back up to its original standard. First place we'll come to is a little doorway on our right. We'll just take a wee look through there and see. Okay, nice little markings on the wall here. I think there might have been some satanic cults running about, but we don't really know. Obviously it says God can't save you with a wee pentagram. It could be just in place to scare people, but you don't really know. And you can see there's other sorts of pentagrams and 666s marked on the walls, and all who enter die. Lovely. Nice little windows to let in a bit of light, natural light into the room. It's just one of these places where you have to be extra careful with walking, because a lot of the floor now has just rotted away, so you're basically just walking on the beams, the sort of wooden joists that run underneath the floor. And there you go. And this would have been the stairway, which is actually, you know, on its side here, as if it's just fallen away from upstairs itself. There isn't any actual way to get upstairs at the minute, because everything is just completely fallen to bits. So upstairs is kind of off. It's kind of off out of bounds at the minute. I'll just give you a little bit of light in here. Okay, let's take the diffuser off. There we go. So there's no way to actually know what any of these rooms realistically would have been, because there's nothing that marks, you know, what the, you know, which room was for which. I don't know what this is. This could be some form of an old washing machine, or I don't really know, like a pressure cooker of some sort. Oh, it's got a kind of a heavy lid, and what looks to be like a cistern of some sort beside it. Again, rooms are very bare, but there is a sort of window in the wall that goes to nowhere. A very old sort of room, very bare, but the plasterboard on the wall seems to be intact. Someone's tried to draw a nice graffiti ghost. I don't know where that goes, because there doesn't seem to be any sort of doorway that leads in there, so it could be like a room that's entered in via some other way in the house. All of the original doors on. Although, as you'll probably see when we walk around, that a lot of the doors are actually on the floor, and they're being used as walkways to step on, because according to a lot of people, there's soggy bits that have created like sinkholes where the water's leaked in through the roof and has turned the floor to mush. This little opening of a window leading to another part of the property. Just like I said, this place is obviously very, very big, so it'll probably again take another couple of times to come up here to have a proper look around. To me, this would be like a cloakroom of some sorts, because it has all these hangers on the wall for your coats, although it's a very, very big cloakroom. And this sort of gives you the extent of which the thickness of the walls of the house are. So it's quite sturdily built. It's just that all the wood's rotten, but the actual brickwork has stayed intact. Let's see, the floors don't really work. As I said earlier, this place is reputed to be one of the most haunted locations in Northern Ireland, and I can actually see why. It's just because the place is so big, it gives off that very creepy feeling, as if you're being watched from all these different angles, because there's holes everywhere. Someone could be hiding further in the building and just looking through and watching what you're doing. Who knows? I mightn't be the only person that's actually in this place at the minute. I wouldn't really know, because it just goes on and on. The place was used as a hospital as far as I'm aware, but I don't know what for. Again, I'll look that up and put it in the description. So that was the stairway back there, but we're not going to be able to access any of the upstairs just because of, well, everywhere it looks like that. That is the roof. So this would have been a nice little hallway again, with a nice pentagram with a 666 on it. It just seems to be hallways leading into hallways. But I am loving this original wood panelling that has still managed to survive. So this would be perhaps one of the reception rooms. And this will be the front of the house, with windows looking out onto the gardens, and the same with, this will be upstairs, first floor, then second floor. As you can see, the whole way up. Have to just be very careful, because these beams don't look like they're going to hold out for very much longer. And it's quite windy outside as well, so I don't want to be hanging around as much as I would like to in case anything just decides to crumble and give way. Look behind you. And someone says, "Hi, Satan." I think it's either meant to be "Hi, Satan." Don't really know. Okay. Again, more nice wooden paneling on the walls. Don't know whether this could have been a study of some sort or a dining room. And it goes all the way through to the upstairs room, obviously, which doesn't exist anymore as the flooring is currently laying at my feet, which provides some decent walking. I'll have to use them as stepping stones. Seems to be some of the old plaster work in place still that would have been original to the house. There's deep holes in the floor. As you can see here, someone's used the door that was currently here is now a walking board. So this room, again, don't really know what it could be. Could be like a dining room or an extended living room. And there's a fireplace. Doesn't really look like it's one of the originals. Well, could be, but who knows. The ornamental grate is just gone. You see, giant hole in the floor. It was just given away with rot and wood coming through, or wood coming through, the wetness. And if we look up, one of the looks to be original light fixtures. Even though it is some of the floor is very squishy, as you can see. Yeah, I don't want to be going through that. Even though it is broad daylight outside at the minute, it still is eerily quiet in here. And has that really spooky vibe to it. So we're coming through what would be one of the side doors to the property, maybe. This one's been blocked off. Again, some deep holes for footing to be lost and fall down. Just check that out. From this angle, it sort of gives off the appearance of like an old church of sorts, with all the arched hallways and the large windows. And obviously these would have been floors that run along the top, corridors which now are non-existent. And I don't know what this would have been. Looks like some sort of a, I don't know, maybe like a large skylight of sorts that might have been up there at one stage. Maybe this was all open and there would have just been a walkway that went down here and around the edges, because it looks like there would have been a staircase that would have went up there at some stage. And then this large metal grate would have been a skylight that would have let all the natural light just flood the area down here. You can see lots of the old original brickwork. Again, I'm going to move on a little bit because there is a lot of creaking happening, and it's not due to anything paranormal, it's just the wind catching. So this would be, I assume, some sort of back hallway that leads out into the garden. The gardens would have been out that direction, and that is another place I'll take you to another time. So we've got a nice wee darkened room in here. So we can just turn the lighting up a little bit more. And the ceiling hasn't lasted. As you can see, this would have been some of the joisting that would have been up there. There's still an old radiator just hanging on for dear life up there. Lovely. Just turn the lighting back on. Give you guys the sort of best viewing. Some of the really old original wood still in place. It's a shame that a lot of this is now, you know, gone, because this is a lot of very expert craftsmanship put into this. And now it's just all lying here, decaying, turning into mush. Mostly I'll have to just not mind that there's a lot of lovely graffiti on the walls that I'm not going to really be able to blur out. There's some swear words and bodily parts adorned on these walls. Okay. This place would, I would believe anyway, be absolutely terrifying at night, just because of all the elements that can create all these little sounds and waft certain smells at you and everything. And then obviously there's the history to the place, as in the fellow outside, his mum worked here when it was a hospital, and he pointed me to the place out the back in a wee separate building where they used to keep the bodies of the patients who had passed away, even though it's not a mortuary. It was just a storing place before, I suppose, the private ambulance would have came and taken the bodies away to the proper mortuary. And this would have been a lift. And the call buttons aren't really there anymore, but you can kind of see where the lift would have gone. First floor, and I don't really know if it would have went beyond here. Just scoot across here and see. No, I think it's only up to the first floor, as that would have probably been where the mechanisms for the lift would have been. You can see lots of ornamental looking chimney types. There's another big hallway. A lot of the woods just give way from the ceilings here. As you can see, there's literally nothing and plain open to the elements here. And it looks like the cloud is fast moving at the minute, so I'm going to get a wee shift on in case it starts pouring down, because I am just in a t-shirt as usual. We've been upstairs, exposed brickwork, and that would be the roof with some really old roofing tiles. Mostly everything's just came through. I have to be careful here just walking through, because the flooring is actually mush at the minute. Use this door and an old radiator as a walkway to gain access to the next room. See cavities in the walls. Everything's exposed. And this is the upstairs, so definitely not be moving in around this area in case this just happens to give way. You can see up there. Some windows still in check. It's amazing how they've managed to last. And this is back out down the hallway. I don't want to be doing the old scare factor type of thing here, but just while I'm listening there, I could have sworn I heard someone speaking behind me. Nice little inverted cross there with the 666. And what looks like 3 claw marks, like the mark of the beast, as they would say. Again, use this nice heavy ornate door as a walkway to gain access to this back room. Yeah, so like I said there, I just had to stay still for a little minute just to hear if there was any voices, because I could have sworn I heard a male voice mumbling, and I think it was coming from in and around about here where I am now, as I was just stood sort of at that door looking out into the hallway, and it was coming from this direction. This would have been the old sort of bay windows looking out onto the garden, I suppose. Or maybe an old, be careful here, some sort of old call button, so maybe this was a room for patients. Lots of the exposed brickwork and the old plasterboard starting to crumble away. And this would be an old sort of shower block toilet with really original old tiles and nothing else. As you can see, the toilet's not there anymore on light fixtures, but it does look like a little bird's made its nest up there, so it's one of the remaining residents. I'll just leave it alone. And this takes you out to, would have been a window around to the side of the house. So we'll just backtrack on ourselves at the moment. You can see. think this is as far as I will go today, and we'll keep this section of the house for another explore, because it does look like there's quite a few rooms that branch off either side down there. So, take you in here. This place is nicely open to the elements as well. Careful on this floor. So there you have it. Just sort of make my way back to the front end of the house. As you can see, there's more rooms there to explore for next time as well. I will not be going out there, as that place is completely open to the elements and everything seems to have fallen through. But it does have lucky door number 13. Okay guys, that's going to be all for this part of the clip. I plan on returning soon to record part 2, in which I intend to explore further into the house that I didn't get to in this one. I also plan to interact with the entities in which are said to haunt this place. So with that, thanks for watching. If you liked my clip, please consider leaving a like. Also leave a comment on what you thought of the house, and please consider subscribing to my channel. Many thanks guys, see you in the next one.